Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're able to find me. We had a little cockpit error over here with StreamYard, but hopefully you'll find me right here and we'll get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about is being a virtual assistant for you. We're going to talk about is being a virtual assistant for you. And I know a lot of you have been hanging out in the challenge. You've been hanging out, in different places with me, and you're wondering, maybe someone said to you, you should be a VA. Maybe someone said that, or you read about it, or you're one of the people that's up in the middle of the night Googling, can I make money from home? Things like that. It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. So maybe you're wondering, is being a VA for me? And also I've been presenting the opportunity to join me for a VA school, which is a way that I can help you start, grow and scale your business. But you just have a couple of questions. So I'd love to hear, I'd love to hear from you. So hubby thought I should years ago. Hubby, so tell me who this is. Tell me who this is. I want to hear in the chat from you, but just like this Facebook user is letting us know that hubby thought you should. That's great that you've got his support. That's amazing. So welcome to the VA Connection. I'm Belinda Sandor, your host for this information session about becoming a virtual assistant. Hello, Maria. Hello, Maria. The VA Connection is a professional online community with, we have almost 27,000 members in 47 countries. And as the founder, I'm committed to connecting and educating virtual assistants all over the world. And we do this by helping established and aspiring VAs create, grow, and scale their VA businesses using the skills you already have so you can skip the struggle and get right to work. And this happens in our free online community, in our courses, and our coaching programs. So my business is thriving now. I am happy to tell you. And I've been making over $100,000 a year for the last 10 years, 11 years. But at the start of my business, it was a little rough. And I know some of you have been with me for a while and you've heard the story, but this is me and my little daughter 12 years ago. And I was just starting out and I had so many things to figure out. How to manage my debt. I was a newly single mom. I didn't have a job. We moved 3 times in 4 years, which is stressful enough. And I just had a ton of debt. I had to sell my house. And I just had a list of creditors, waiting at the door for that money. And it was disheartening. It was disheartening. It wasn't where I wanted to be as I was turning 50. I wanted to be in a really different place. And, but that wasn't the case. So I had to figure it out. And I had to figure out how to get money in the door. And I didn't want to go back to corporate. I'd been in corporate for a while and I wasn't interested in that because it's never been 9 to 5. It was always like, I don't, it was just always so much more than I could handle and be a mom. Because if you get home at 7 o'clock at night and you have a 9-year-old daughter, how much time could you have before it's bedtime, and you're struggling with eating and, baths and all that kind of stuff. So I really didn't want that. Now, I had to figure it out. And I decided that because I had done admin work in my past, in my 20s and my 30s, I loved doing it. I felt like I was pretty good at it. So I decided that I was going to do that type of work, tell everyone I know. And you guys have heard my story over the last couple of weeks. It took off from places that you wouldn't expect, And it was important to me because I wanted to build my life around this little girl and around the things that were important, things that didn't fit into having a job. So, if you choose virtual assistants and decide to stick with it, it can look like this. It can look like working with over 225 clients. It can look like being in business for 12 years. And it can look like making well over $1 million. And the thing about it is that I was able to make $70,000 the first year. And every year since then, I've made at least $100,000. And I was able to do this when I made some changes in my life. I started making decisions for myself and I changed my story. My story from overwhelmed, upset, powerless to taking back my life. And that all started when I started to get a steady stream of clients, and because I told everyone I knew about my business all the time. Like I said, I got my first client at the school bus stop, my second at a wedding in the reception line, and that's probably going to surprise a lot of you because you've been told that in order to get clients, you're going to need to be on social media. You're going to be in that feeding frenzy. No wonder so many of you think that there's scarcity out there of work, because if you're trying to find jobs on Facebook, it's not a friendly place. It's not a friendly place. You're not going to have to cold call. You're not going to have to do any of those things like, pick a niche and all of those things that just put barriers in your path. They just put barriers in your path. Instead, we're going to go, cut right through it. So we've had all kinds of training since last Monday. And I'm wondering if you've caught all the bonus trainings, from the weekend, yesterday and today. And on Saturday, we did a campus tour where I showed you all around VA school. Yesterday, we did a session, not yesterday, this is Tuesday. Well, the week is flying by. On Sunday, we did a session about VAs and money. And then yesterday, we talked about the debit card course. Earlier today, we talked about the email newsletter system. So in order to find those, you just go over here to the guide section in the Kickstart Challenge group right here. I'll make this bigger so you can see. Right here, you go to guides, and you're going to find all of those right there. Okay, good. Now, I want to take a look at VA school, and then I'm gonna jump into all the elements of is being a VA for you. Okay, so VA school is 6 months of life-changing business education that's going to teach you the foundational virtual assistant skills that you're going to use to make money from your home for as long as you want, potentially the rest of your life. You're getting the benefit of the strategy that I have used every single day for the past 12 years to produce more than $1 million working as a virtual assistant from home, and combined with a simple and straightforward method that I've developed over the years. So this is what it looks like. 10 modules in a private membership site with over 70 videos giving what you need to launch a successful and sustainable VA business. And the lessons are broken down by topic and category. This is important because I know some of you have taken classes in the past. I want you to know that you're not going to need to invest in any other product, program, or service for business education outside of this one to have a thriving business. You're not going to need to invest in any other product, program, or service for business education outside of this one to have a thriving business. You will have access to weekly mindset sessions with me every Monday morning. You'll have coaching with me 3 times a week, every single week, where you're going to get the opportunity to get your questions answered by me specific to your business. When you combine everything with the modules and in one, it really is everything that you need. Now you can get started with me tomorrow if you jump into VA school so that we can get working on your business right now. You're also going to get all the templates I use to run my business still today, the debit card course where I teach you step-by-step how to get paid up front and have your clients pay you without asking for money, chasing invoices, or worst of all, chasing bad debt. The other thing that you're going to get as a bonus is the email newsletter course where I walk you through how to start publishing an email newsletter to grow your business. And you'll know exactly how to do this for your clients as well. So by utilizing this course, you'll be learning a very valuable skill in addition to launching your own business. The Rocket Girl video vault with over 130 videos, you can play them to reinforce what we're learning in VA school. And there is an app where all of this is on a platform called Kajabi, and you can open the Kajabi app, log into VA school, and everything will be right here. So you can put me in your pocket, go for a bike ride, go for a walk, and a lot of people do that, especially with the Rocket Girl Show. You also get 6 months of a Facebook group dedicated to VA school, where you can get your questions answered, every day. And the list goes on, but the bottom line is that if you want to learn the skill of running a successful VA business and you want to get started now, you can do so with an investment of $279, which is not a lot of money to get started with the business of your dreams. And for those of you who join me, you're going to get this bonus session that I'm very excited about on discovery calls. And if you don't know what a discovery call is, it's what people usually call the conversation where you're talking to someone about whether or not you want to work together. I used to call it my 30-minute free consultation. You can call it whatever you want, but essentially that's what it is. And these calls can be totally overwhelming and confusing and definitely stressful. And so that's why we're going to spend a whole hour together talking about what questions to ask, what questions not to ask, how to talk about your services, how to talk about your pricing, and how to be confident so you'll know what to do to move forward with someone. Okay? So keep this in mind if you're on the fence about VA school. And here's the investment. You can make one payment of $1,597, or you can make 6 payments of $279. Okay. All right. What exactly is a virtual assistant? This might sound like a basic question, but there are a lot of people who are new to being a VA, and sometimes this is misunderstood, and it causes a lot of confusion. So you might think that you have to be super duper techie. You might think that you need a ton of certifications or other overwhelming things that are just giant rocks in your path, but you don't. Okay? You absolutely don't. So here's a definition. A virtual assistant provides administrative, technical, or creative assistance to clients, but instead of working full-time for one person or organization, he or she works virtually, usually from home, providing these same types of services for a range of clients. Now, please write this down because you're not going to remember everything that I say for sure, and this is really important. So maybe take a picture of this, okay? Because I want you to be comforted by this. I want you to see how broad this is. This is really good news, right? Because a lot of people think that if you want to be you're going to have to, and you want to make the big bucks, you're going to have really technical skills. You're going to have to know a lot of programs, or you're going to have to know certain hard to use programs. You don't. You don't have to be an expert at social media. You don't have to know how to build funnels. And you don't have to know how to help clients sell their programs or products online. It's just not true. So I want you to make a note of this and write it down. So my story and the story of my students is living proof, and we're going to dig into it, okay? So also, as a VA, you get to decide when you're going to work, how much you want to work, who you want to work with, and where you want to work. You get to decide all of that and how much you're going to charge, right? And how much you're going to charge. So you could be working in the mountains in the winter, or the beach, the summer, and once you master this skill of getting a steady stream of clients, it's really up to you. It's really up to you. It's very different from having a job. It's very different from having a job. All right. So here's some questions that I put together. I want to hear your questions as well. So I put them in the chat as we go along, but these are the ones that I came up with. Are you ready to work on your own? What do you need to get started? Where do I get clients? How much money can I earn? What training is required? Can I work part-time? And who hires virtual assistants? So that's what we're going to jump into. But if you have other questions, please drop them in the chat. Okay? Good. All right. I just want to look for 1 second and see if people are having trouble finding us in the challenge group. Something happened with our training today, and it looks like we're all set. Okay, good. Something happened with our StreamYard link today, and the time was wrong, and so I wasn't able to use the original link. So I just wanted to make sure nobody was hanging out over there. Okay, good. So here's the question I want you to ask. Are you ready to work on your own? And this is a big question because you really need to have, well, let's just jump into it. So this is really about being a business owner, right? This is about being a business owner. So it's really about, do you want to take charge of your life, do you want to decide when you'll work? Do you want to decide who you're going to work with? All of those things. Because when you have a job, people tell you that. They say, I'm going to pay you this and I want you to do that, which is very different from deciding what you're going to do and when you're going to do it and where you're going to do it. There are decisions that need to be made. So the question really is, do you want to be a business owner? Do you want to think about the things that a business owner needs to think about? The next question really to ask yourself is, are you self-guided? And what I mean by that is, can you get yourself to your desk? Can you meet deadlines for clients? Will you follow through with your ideas? That's really critical as well when you're working on your own. And then here's one that I think is, wait till you, this is really interesting. I'm because a lot of people, think about risk. They think that this might be risky. And I know when I first started out, I thought, am I insane? Like, I'm walking away from, potentially corporate, which I thought was safe. I'm going to get my 401k, I'm going to get my benefits, I'm going to get things like that. But here's what happened. I got laid off. Okay. I got laid off and I thought having a job was safe. I was raised like that. My dad was an IBMer. He worked at the same company for 34 years, right? What is it? Cradle to grave, right? So when I got laid off, I realized that having a job is like having a single point of failure. So let me tell you what I mean by that. One person, one day can decide they don't need you and they lay you off and you're gone and you're done. So single point of failure. Now, when you have clients and one leaves, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. When two leave, it's no big deal. When you know how to get clients, it's easy to replace them. And so now you're self-reliant. You're not dependent on anyone. So isn't that an interesting way to think about it? Because so many people think, oh, having a job is what's safe, but it's not. So tell me who gets this. Like, who does this make sense for? And then we'll go deeper. So in order to get started, you need a dedicated workspace. It doesn't have to be big, but you're going to waste a lot of time if you have to keep, if you can't leave your things in one place set up. You're going to need a computer, or a phone ooter is what I was trying to say. A computer, a phone, and I had a notebook and a pen when I started. Really very simple. That's really all you need to start. The other thing is you need to be able to talk about what you do in a way that people understand what you're talking about and are able to remember. And we learned how to do this last week in the Kickstart Challenge on day 2. And it's not too late to watch the replay for that session. The replays are available until tomorrow morning. And I'm just going to put up the link for the replay. So if you missed that, please go back because this is critical to your success. Critical. You also need to be crystal clear about your pricing, when you're going to get paid, how much you're going to get paid, and to be able to talk about it. If you don't, clients are going to think there's room for negotiation, and you don't want this, believe me. You don't want to be in the situation where people are telling you how much they're going to pay you. You want people to be coming to you and you saying, this is how much I charge. Very different. So you can see that this is not necessarily rocket science, but there are things that need to be thought about and addressed to be successful. So you also learned last week in the Kickstart Challenge that clients are everywhere. Clients are everywhere. So think about this. Imagine that two friends are out to lunch and one of them asks the other one, we talked about this in the challenge, do you have a dentist that you recommend? And one of the women says, the other woman says, yes, I love my dentist. His name is. Now imagine two friends are out having coffee or, lunch. And one of them says, do you know anyone that could help me with my email newsletter? And they say, yes. And your name rolls off their tongue. That's how it works. Okay, that's how it works. And I call this sprinkling. It makes it sound a lot more fun than marketing. Marketing sounds like drudgery to me and something that I don't want to do. But what we do is we sprinkle here, we sprinkle there, and we sprinkle using a system that will help you do this easily and consistently with the least amount of effort. Okay. And there are many, many ways to do this. And that's why there are 2 full modules in VA school dedicated just to this. All right, dedicated just to this. Now, how much money can I earn? Now, that depends on your confidence, and that's probably surprising to you. It depends on your skills too, but it mostly depends on your confidence. When we're not confident, we start out at $15 an hour, right? You can make much more money than that as a VA. Now, when I started out 11 years ago, I started out at $50 an hour. I was making about that much in corporate when I got laid off, and I figured my brain and my experience were still worth $50 an hour. So I started with that. I had no trouble getting clients. I had no trouble getting them at all because I could confidently say my price and talk about my work. Okay. So I want you to know this. You don't need to work for testimonials. I never want you to give a discount. Okay. A getting started discount. You don't have to do that. I don't want you to do it. It's actually going to cause trouble if you do. And I'll talk more about that in VA school, but you don't need to have a friends and family rate. You don't. Okay. And you do need to be able to speak clearly about your prices and be able to talk about it. And I'm just grabbing my sticker, and there is a component to it of stop talking. There's definitely a component of stop talking because we just don't want to go on and on and on about the pricing. It's like, this is how much it costs. This is how it works. Boom. And that's why we have 11 videos in VA school just on this topic alone. Okay. So let's talk about what training is required. Now, you can start from where you are, and I am not kidding. I am not kidding because, and I'm not trying to be funny, but you can't really start from anywhere else. There's just like where you are. Now, you can use a lot of time learning new skills and not get out there until you know everything you think there is to know. But two things. One, it's impossible. And the other is a slippery slope. It is a very slippery slope. And one of the things we call it is, it can be called procrastinating, right? Procrastinating. I call it table setting the table, because you move the fork, you move the spoon, and you never take a bite. You update your website. You think about your niche. And by the way, you don't need a niche. I recommend you don't have a niche to get started. And you never get clients and you don't know why. You don't know why, because you just keep moving things around. Now, here's what you need. You need one service to get started. You need one. And I said only one. You can start with many more, but one to get started, which I bet is surprising. So I'd love to hear in the chat, even if you're coming in in the replay, what is the service that you're going to offer? It's everyday things that people already know how to do. And it doesn't matter if you have worked in an office, if you were a school teacher, a healthcare worker, retail, restaurant, or if you were a bartender, it doesn't matter. There are everyday things you can offer to clients right now. Now, after this training, I want you to go to the vaconnection.com, scroll down until you see the ultimate money-making task, the ultimate VA task list. Download that. It's a guide filled with page after page of services that you can offer to clients right now. Okay, so check that out. Now, here's the deal. Your mindset, more than anything, is going to determine your success as a VA. Just like anything in life, your mindset, your attitude, and your energy is going to determine your outcome. And that's why it's important that you believe that you can start from where you are, no matter how this is, where this is. All right. What I was thinking, sometimes it's really, we're protecting ourselves when we think we have to learn more and more and more. But the job of a VA is figuring things out. And the way that you do that is you figure them out in the moment. You figure them out in the moment. All right, so I want to talk about working part-time. So you want to consider the type of work, okay? If you take a client and they need you to do something in their business, this is common sense, but I'm just going to say it. They need you to do something in their business Monday through Friday, every day, like you're monitoring an email account. You don't want to take that kind of work if you're not working every day, or if you're only working at night, unless they understand that. So you really want to set expectations with your client. You want them to know what they can expect. And I highly recommend a consistent schedule. that doesn't mean that you can't change your schedule every once in a while to go watch a baseball game or go to the beach or whatever you want to do. But clients need to know when they reach out to you what kind of response time they can expect. Because when you're virtual, it's important to be visible. And this is one of the ways that you do that. Now, let's talk about who hires VAs, okay? Like pretty much anyone who understands what we do. Like some examples: small business owners, authors, financial planners, coaches, consultants, nutritionists, real estate agents, recruiters, me. I have had people helping me in the past as well. So there's really no barrier, in terms of the type of person who will hire a VA. So I want to talk about what to do next, okay? First, I'm going to pause and see if you guys have any questions. All right, good. So if you don't want to do this alone, join me for VA school so that you can get started and skip the struggle. VA school starts tomorrow. You can sign up until midnight tonight. It's a 6-month program where you're going to learn exactly what you need to manage, grow, and scale your VA business without being overwhelmed or confused about the next steps. You're going to find everything you need, really easy to implement, right at your fingertips, and there's nothing that's going to require you to be someone you're not. If you follow the steps, you will have the VA business that you've been wanting. So if you want to talk to me about it, and I think somebody just actually texted me on WhatsApp. I'm going to go look. Just send me a text, 617-755-6010 right there. I'll put it up on the banner right here. Just shoot me a text and I'll email you. I'll give you a Zoom link and we'll jump on a call. Okay. Now, I want you to know that you can, you're going to be eligible for a discovery call bonus. Everyone that signs up for VA school, where we're going to talk about really all the things you need to know for getting, it's like the pregame, if you will. So a discovery call is what happens when someone says, well, we might like to work together, and so you want to make sure that you are asking good questions, that you're not selling, that everybody's comfortable, that you're able to decide whether or not you want to work with them. You want to be able to talk about your pricing. And so we're going to get crystal clear on how this is done in this bonus session. All right. So I just noticed something down here. I'm going to turn this on. I did not realize this was here. So this is one of my team members, probably Malou, or maybe it was Mandy, Spectacular. And these are all the people that have signed up so far for VA school, which is really exciting. So maybe you guys see your names in there. This is really great. Yeah, they're very thoughtful. They are very thoughtful. And we are all lucky to have them. We are all lucky to have them. So you can get started today for one payment of $279, and then we'll bill you. It'll automatically come off of your credit card every month for 6 months, or one payment of $15.97. So if you want your name down there in the scroll, jump in and let me know. Okay. All right. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock. We're going to have office hours, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Last night we had a really fun conversation with some people who had already signed up. Laura signed up during the session, and it was really fun. So come on tonight. You can get the link to the Zoom room in the Facebook group. Okay. Thanks for coming, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.